clean out the room?
Yeah.
Okay,
All
right,
Have
we'll
the
go-
important people in place.
okay. We'll, call this meeting to order, and want to thank you, Andrew, for your, interest in our position here. Thank you for traveling here for this interview. It's a lot better to do it in person than on Zoom.
Yes, sir.
We've had a few of those, so appreciate your time allotted for this, very important position to us, as well. So kind of the way the format will go is, I'll kind of, lead the discussion. We got city council to my right and board members to my left, and, Councilmember Cardwell serves on both, so he may have double amounts of questions. It just depends how the questions go. So we'll probably just go back and forth, between the council and board members, and we'll try to make sure you have some time at the end to ask us questions as well. And I know we have a tour set up for you, around 2:00, so one of our police officers will be happy to take you around on that.
Do I sit in the front or the back?
Yeah.
Just depends on who the lights are on.
Depending on how this interview goes, whether you sit in the front or back seat. So I know you've prepared this. You want to go ahead and cover that first, if that's what you'd like to do. That may answer some of the questions that some people may have, so.
Yeah, I want to bring a presentation just for the board and for the audience. I figured we'd have some people here so they can actually see, what I've done and where I've come from. So,
Okay.
just wanted to prepare this for you guys. So basically, it's a presentation for the city of Loudon. I thank you guys for bringing me here today and introducing myself. So my years of service, I started back in this is actually current. I started January 2024. I started with the field services director in Jacobs, Florida. It's a retirement community, the largest, I guess, in the country. So pretty interesting to say the least. From March 1st of 2020 until January 8th, 2024, I served as the public services director for the city of White House, Tennessee, where I oversaw the stormwater, the roads. I have all that in later slides. I'll show you guys that as well. And then in May 1994 until February 2020, so approximately 25 years, almost 26, I worked for Toho Water Authority in Kissimmee, Florida. And that was a transition I was telling Melissa earlier. We were part of the city of Kissimmee at the time. And then about maybe 7-8 years after I was working there, they branched off. The utility branched off and went to their own authority, and the city still had their board, and then Toho had their own board. So pretty similar to what you guys are looking at here. My education, I started late because when I started out, I don't think education was prevalent back in the day. It was more like if you just put your time and did the hard work, you got promoted. But as I saw the new manager leadership teams coming in, I noticed education was becoming part of the job. So I went ahead and went back to school. I got my associates, got my environmental science degree in 2017. Then I went back and got my MPA, finished that in 2019. It's just, I put these slides in here because here's some of the systems I utilized up there. We had a low pressure system, we had vacuum system, and we had gravity system. We had all three systems in White House. Apparently back in the day, they got a grant for the vacuum, so they put all that infrastructure in, and it doesn't work very well. So now we're trying to convert it. Before I left, we got an engineering quote to get all that designed and put into gravity. While I was there as well, that bottom left picture there, that's actually a picture of the treatment facility. We went to a 5-stage Barton because with the new restrictions for nitrogen and phosphorus, the old facility wasn't meeting permit, so we had to expand our facility. In White House, I was part of the economic development team. It was me, the city administrator, the city recorder, Mandy, she's the chamber, and the planning director. We were all part of the economic development team. In the last 2 years, 22 and 23, I went to Vegas with them to try to muster up some folks to come that way. Businesses really, not residential. I was also part of the planning review team. Met with the engineer, again, the city manager, myself, the planning and code director. We will review every new development coming in, making sure they're meeting our standards and our criteria. The wastewater, I oversaw the treatment facility collections, any I&I issues, streamlining personnel, When I left, we were hiring more. Obviously, we're expanding the facility. And then identifying ways to standardize our current collection system. Because with the 3 systems, it wasn't feasible to continue that. We spent $550,000 a year just on low pressure E1s, grinder pumps. So oversaw the stormwater division. We identified hotspots, rectified the capital projects, internal personnel, and we held developers accountable with NOVs. And then I was over at Public Works and Sanitation, where I oversaw the roads, the potholes, the paving, the salting, the traffic signals. We had 13 at the time. I think they got 15 now since I left, just in the last 9 months. Oversaw the asset management, make sure we're capturing our costs with our repairs. So when they come to you guys or come to the board, we actually have a detailed format of why we're asking for what we're asking for. So I make sure if it's something doing repairs on equipment, we're tracking all those costs, whether it be preventive or reactive maintenance. Oversaw the sanitation division, oversaw the city's ADA compliance program, and I implemented a traffic calming program for the residents. So the stormwater, like I said, is a recap. I did inspections, public outreach, dish remediation, complaints, holding developers accountable, and listening. The public works side, again, just a recap. We did our bulk pickup. We had GFL before I left. Waste Management bought them out, so they took over our trash services. The traffic cabinets, the ADA, the salting, inspections, pothole, and asphalting. My roles over there, I served as a stormwater, on the stormwater board where I was chairman. I attended the meeting with the economic development team, oversaw 4 divisions, the wastewater, stormwater, public works, and sanitation. Again, we did the plan review, budgeting, safety, speaking with contractors and residents, troubleshooting and finding solutions for our resident concerns. Did public outreach. I attended every single event. We used to do a WOW article that was out every quarter. I would write an ad and just inform the residents on what's going on, what we're doing new. We did the tree giveaway, the Summer County Cleanup Day, Discover White House. Again, I was over the asset management, guidance to fellow employees for team building, employee recognition. When I was there, they had once a year they did employee recognition. I said that's not enough because the morale can get low throughout the year. So I changed it to every quarter we did employee recognition, and every quarter we would do team building as well. Reviewing municipal codes and assisted procurement, I rewrote their Title 17, which is the trash. When we're bidding that out, I rewrote that as one chapter. I broke out in 2 chapters to make it more understandable. And then obviously I listen, ask questions, and I follow up. So that's the biggest thing, is follow up with your customers. If you have any questions, you can slow me down too. I know I'm talking a little fast, but I know you guys have been out here all day. So the current duties, I oversee the meter reading team, UDF and C&D teams. We find creative solutions to meet the high level of service for the village's residents. Send daily and or weekly reports to update the client on our progress. Typically, I'll send a daily report for the meter reading team and a weekly for the C&D. We help identify CIP projects and monitor those in progress. We attend the developer, client, and internal meetings to discuss a variety of topics with positive results, and understand the private versus the public side, because they're private where I'm at now. So
Just one question.
Yes, sir.
It'll probably like, how many residents is this in the
150,
villages?
140,000 residents.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty big, and they're building 15 houses a day. I mean, bring them on a truck and they just go vertical. It's insane how fast we're putting these things up. So just to recap again, as director, we got an ARV replacement at the top left up there. Got the team building, the public outreach at the bottom. I think that was trunk or treat at the bottom left. That was the Christmas parade. We actually won 2nd place that year. That was a chili cook-off, and there was a tree giveaway. Safety, I'm big on safety. This is just here recently. Our safety guy came in, and a lot of the paint wasn't in the fire cabinet, so I put everything, straightened everything up. Top right, I just put the guys through a confined space, line breaks, and the meter reading. So just in conclusion, I started my municipal government career back in 1994. My duties included mowing, disking ribs, work with the lift station crew, pulling pumps, and conducting panel PMs and the lift station cabinets. Drove semis to the farm and fields and land applied the biosolids. Then finding ways finding my way to the treatment facility where I started with the biosolids and learning learning the treatment process. After a few years, I became chief operator over one of the 7 wastewater facilities. I oversaw 2 different budgets. I followed through with the capital budget projects and the construction of the second facility. I did lab testing, submitted DMRs. I was one of the first actually in Florida to submit the Easy DMR, which is the electronic version of it. We were one of the guinea pigs, and just so happened that year my permit came over renewal, so I got stuck doing that. But it was great, it was a good experience. Negotiated, reviewed, and executed contracts and agreements with consultants and contractors, and now I work for one, believe it or not. Reviewed and submitted procurement items for purchase and accountability and negotiating. Submitted quarterly stormwater inspections, asset management, and forest policy. And, so here recently I got my grade 4 license in Tennessee. When I moved up here, they gave me reciprocity. I tested for my grade 2 collections and passed that. Took the level 2 stormwater, passed that. Got my asphalt certified roadway technician through TDOT. In 23-24, I did the CPM course, Certified Public Manager's course. That was a year course. I'd go one Friday a month for a year. I did my capstone in January. So in this binder, that's what I have. I just put under Andy, that's the PowerPoint. I put that there just in case we had technical difficulties. I want to make sure you guys were able to see the information. The employee, the ones labeled employee, that's my capstone I did for that CPM course. It was on employee retention and morale.
Okay.
So, and then the awards that I got throughout my career.
Okay, thank you for putting that together, very informative, and so, we'll go through, and some of this stuff may have generated a question, or maybe have answered a question with some of our, people here, so we'll start with Vice Mayor Dixon. You have a question for, Andrew?
I do, we heard, question I'll ask is, we heard some of it, is this here. Tell us about yourself.
So basically, I've been doing it since 1994, been in the utility industry. Like I said, when I first started out, I was just a boots on the ground guy. I did my time, and then like I said, I saw the way the industry was changing with the leadership team. So with regard to education, so I went back to school and got my MPA, and that's where I'm sitting today. And to take it a step further, I went to the CPM course just to get a little bit more knowledge. And I was talking with Melissa earlier. It's a great course to take. It gets really out of your shell. It's a great course if everybody wants to take it. I took it at the night.
Yeah. Yeah, we've looked into it, Melissa and I've looked into
It's a
that.
good course.
David, have another question?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Vice Chair, Farmer.
Thank you for Andrew for being with us today,
Yeah.
appreciate that. Obviously, you're proficient in Microsoft, PowerPoint.
Yes, sir.
What about other softwares are you proficient in?
Excel, I'm good at Excel. Like I do, so when I send my daily reports and my weekly reports, we always send graphs of our progress.
Mhm.
So with regard to the meter reading side, it's a bunch of readings that we get, and we're actually changing our technology now. Right now, the meter readers go out and have to hand read every single meter with a wand, and now we're gonna go to AMR, so that should hopefully cut that down a little bit. Then the other side, we do the C&D, which we have a lot of work orders coming in, sometimes they get past due, so we track all the past due for the client, so they know where we're at, so they can kind of gauge our workload.
Are you familiar with Microsoft Project?
No, I've heard of it though.
Okay. I noticed on your overhead that you had safety impacts.
Yes, sir.
What's your personal expectations of safety in an organization? Or what level would that be encompassing, such as SOPs, investigations, things like that?
So with regard to safety, I would like just to start at the ground level, like making sure we're updating our SDS sheets, making sure the fire chief or the inspector is aware of what we have on site. I don't know if the wastewater facility has hypo or if they're using UV. I don't know what they're using here, but just make sure if we're using any type of flammable or toxic, that the fire chief knows about that, bring them on site. My expectation would be, and I'm sure you already have a policy in place, at least no more than quarterly inspections. When I was in White House, we pulled in the fire inspector, the safety coordinator, myself, the managers, and the admin, and we all had a bunch of different eyes on it, so it's like a diverse crowd, because I may see something that they don't, or vice versa. So a lot of people don't know, you can't run extension cords for more than a certain amount of time. That's a violation. You have to have your lights if you're out in the shop. They gotta be breakable, they don't smash on the ground. Little things like that, little nuances we were looking for. But it was great to have the fire inspector there because he was doing the flammable side of things. So, but it was great. It was a good time. Making sure that, even with safety with our folks, making sure we're giving proper PPE, making sure we're keeping them safe as well. You gotta invest in your employees, otherwise if they're in the hospital, not doing us any good. So invest in your employees too with the PPE.
Okay. One other one, if that's okay.
Mhm, sure.
The dual role that we're looking at in this position is gonna have high expectations of administrators. What makes you most qualified candidate to fulfill those expectations of being able to administer policies, procedures, strategic plans, and so on?
I've been doing it now, well, when I started with White House, I basically did all that. I oversaw, like I said, the stormwater, the wastewater, the roads, the traffic, all that. So I had basically 5 different departments, but it was actually 4, but it was 5 different divisions I had to oversee. So I've already been doing that already, so I've been juggling all those tasks. I would lean on my team, I would lean on their expertise. I looked at the guide y'all sent out. I mean, the retention is awesome. I mean, you got people here 20, almost 30 years. I think the field manager, 29 years. That's a long time. So somebody's doing something right. So I don't want to come in the door and start reinventing the wheel. It's already been invented. I'm not going to grease to it. Melt my way in the system, learn y'all's, the way you guys do things here. And, if I can help in any way I will, I can. And that's what I did over there as well, very successful. But I got almost a death in the family, so I went back to Florida for a little bit, and that's why I had that little stint of going down there, and now and my family's still here, so that's why I'm trying to get back to Tennessee. So,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Okay, Councilmember Cardwell.
So, your job as a dual-hatted manager is to help us take our vision and then turn it into reality. So, tell us about a time that you've taken a project and you've coordinated people and resources from the very start of the vision to final product.
So I got a couple examples. When I was in White House, we had the Southern Forestry Project, which is a 4-mile project. And we had to start with the grant funding first. We had to go through TDEC, and then we also went through the state. That was hard, because, it was a city administrator, myself, the finance manager, or director, I should say, and we looked at that. I don't know, did you guys apply for that ARAP, I think the American Recovery? That was tough, but I got in the horn with TDEC. They zoomed in on us and they helped us finish that out, and we got that up and rolling. I went through the first 2 phases, I believe, before I left there. So that's what I'm pretty proud of that. We started from the ground level, just trying to get the financing. We bid it out and we got it going. Another time when I did from start to finish, when I was back in Toho, this was probably back in somewhere probably in the early 2000s, we did a reuse interconnect project with the city of St. Cloud, which is our adjacent city. What that did was, it was a 36, I think, ductile that we ran. I don't know how many miles it was, but we interconnected with them. So if my plant went out or went to reject, or we had a 7.5 million gallon trunk tank. So if that thing went gone, we were obligated to send reuse water to this one golfing community. Because 30 years ago, you couldn't get rid of reuse. So they signed a contract saying they could have all the water they wanted for free. That was the trade-off. So we were bound by contract. So if that tank got low, we would have to try to find ways to supplement that. When we did that was that project. We tied into the adjacent city, they ran it over, and actually that's one of the awards that I won in that booklet. It was that David York Reuse Award for that connection that we did. I saw that from start to finish. Of course, the engineers and finance did their side. I was boots in the ground from start to finish, and I'll report it back as needed.
Okay. I see on your resume where you've taken courses on how to become a person of influence.
Yes, sir.
How have you used your influence and your leadership ability to coach and mentor employees, but mainly team building? How have you built teams? How have you handled the outliers that may not fit into what you're trying to do, and how did you mold them to accomplish what it is you wanted to accomplish?
So just like Monday, we did tea building on Monday. I did the old pumpkin routine. So once a year, like they get 5, or this year we got 5 pumpkins and we broke the team up in 3 people. And not everyone on the team is the same, you know, they have different personalities and what have you. So what I do, because I know they're gonna pick their own teams, I blind draw their names out of a cup. So you had to deal with all the people you're not used to dealing with. So they went out there for 1 hour, they cut the pumpkins up, and, you know, they were all giggling and laughing, and then we had a team come in to judge it. So that's one way of trying to get people to collaborate, but when they see that leadership coming from me, that means a lot. You know, we're all having a good time. I bought them breakfast that morning, so I just try to make we work a lot, you know, it's good to have that downtime as well, and actually get to know the people. So before that, we had a meeting with the crew. I said, listen, I'm here for you. I know you don't always see me every day, but what do you need? How can you be more efficient? Some things we came up with, like filling the golf carts up, because, you know, they sit there for 30 minutes in the morning, there's no gas. They get stuck at the back gate, they don't have a key to the back gate. It's just communicating with your crew and trying to lead by example. I've actually went out there and read meters with them as well. They condensed our schedule now, and because they're doing that meter change out program, so they want to have some other days that were open, and that got a little bit behind.